Hi Maggie, Ted Mackel here with Keller Williams Realty. Having fun late on Friday evening. I think it's about 11 o'clock right now. And this is a great question. I've been working on an REO for the bank this week. We're trying to get a voluntary move out from the holdover tenant. And why this is kind of related to your question is that once I gain control of the property for the bank, the next step in the process is I have to put together what's called a BPO, which is known as a broker's price opinion. In that BPO, there's a section to come up with a pricing strategy for the property for the bank, and usually after 90 days, you write what you would reduce the property to, and to try to get it sold if it doesn't sell after a point in time in the listing period. So the bank's well aware that if it's holding on to it for a while, that it's going to have to adjust the price at some point. You're still early at 30 days into the listing period before they'll probably consider the next move down in the price. But you should definitely, if you like this property, you should definitely put together an offer where you're comfortable with. If you're going to come in 25-30% below and you get rejected, you shouldn't be surprised. But if you're going to be close to listing price and whatever you knock off, you have a good substantial reason for, there's a good possibility you could end up with the property. For me, you got to be as straightforward. I mean, if you want a strong offer, you have to be straightforward. And what I mean by straightforward is you need to have your own down payment money and you need to have your closing costs. And it's been very popular for the last 7 to 8 years to have the seller pay closing costs, and this has just been a way to help people get into property. But it's definitely a sign of weakness, and so if you're going to write a lower offer, you need to come up with that money. I could talk for a half hour as to why you should never roll your closing costs into a 30-year mortgage, and that's a whole nother subject, but make that offer strong. There's some advanced techniques into making your offer stronger, but without really knowing your risk tolerance and knowing your background in rehabbing property and construction, it's hard to give you wholesale advice and say, hey, this is what you should do. I've got a ton of construction background and property rehab experience, and so a guy like me would walk in, and some of the advanced techniques I would use is I'd write my lower offer, and I would make it clear that termite inspection or repair would not be a contingency of the contract. You need to state that out clear so who's ever doing your financing doesn't require that as part. Another advanced technique I would use with my background is I would tell them that I want my physical inspection contingency, but I will not ask for repairs. So that gives me the ability to go in and do my inspections, bring in the home inspector, and if I need to bring in a plumber to run a camera down the sewer or anything else to make me feel comfortable, I can do that all in a 17-day period. If I find something major, I still got the ability to get out. But if it looks like I run into maybe $1,500 worth of repairs, I'm not going to be coming back to nickel and dime the bank over it, and that makes it easier for them to get out of the property. And I ask for my discount up front instead of later, and so that's kind of the way you want to go at it. Make it easy for the bank to get that thing through escrow and get it off their books. And you'll probably get somewhat of a discount from that listing price. So the greatest thing in this market that is happening is that if you don't get this one, there's going to be another one that comes up in a couple of months. And so you just keep pushing forward, figure out where your comfort level is, and strike out from there. As always, as I tell everyone, whether you agree or disagree with me, there's a comment section right here on Trulia. If you follow the link over to YouTube, or you're watching this from YouTube and you weren't on Trulia, put your comments down below there. Let us all know how you feel. The exchange on the internet through these venues is terrific. It gives everyone a chance to learn and express ideas, and Also, if you need more information, please go to my blog, www.homebuysblog.com, and the information there is free to everyone. I do a lot of video blogging and video conferencing, and it's available through the different posts, and I'll be setting up an area where that can be downloaded to your iPods. You can carry it with you, and if you got any questions, you can contact me through the blog as well. So have a great evening, and thanks for putting up a great question, because I know there's a lot of people who are looking at REOs and trying to figure out how to make the best deal on them.